The most beautiful country on earth, 3 most livable cities in Canada, over 14,000 graduates, and 20 unique programs in English. Welcome to Canada. Welcome to Sprott Language College. This is Ilyas. As the Pathway Program Manager and the Marketing Manager for Europe, I will share with you today how you can live, study, and work in Canada. Canada stands out with its safe, multicultural society, quality of education, and high living standards. These things make Canada one of the most reputable countries in the world. It is also more affordable to study in Canada than other countries like the US and UK. Here, you can meet and study with students from over 75 different countries and also study and work through our career college. Or you can enroll in our Pathway program to study at Canada's top colleges and universities while working 20 hours per week to obtain work experience in an English-speaking country. If you want to be a part of this great experience at Sprott Language College, apply today. Now it's time for Canada.
Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to SSLC's Pathway webinar series. My name is Ilyas and I'm the Pathway Program Manager here at SSLC, joining you live today from Vancouver once again. I hope everyone is doing well and staying safe. Thank you for joining our webinars. Today we have our new partner, Fraser International College, located at the Simon Fraser University, joining us today. And we have Rafael representing FIC and the Navitas Group. Hi, Rafael, how are you today?
Hi, Ilyas, I'm doing great. Thanks a lot for the invitation. I'm looking forward to present as much information as possible to your students.
Great, great. We are here to learn about FIC and perhaps Navitas Group. And thanks for joining today again. Let's get to start with yourself maybe first. Let's get to know you first, who you are, what you do at FIC at the Navitas Group, and how long you've been with the Navitas Group, etc. And then we can start with your presentation.
Perfect. Yeah. So I'm based in Vancouver, like you. I've been living in Vancouver for 13 years, but I'm originally from Brazil. I'm from São Paulo. And when I first came to Canada, I actually came to Canada to study at FIC. And I eventually graduated from Simon Fraser University. I got my bachelor's degree from SFU, from Simon Fraser University. And then I applied for my Canadian residence, applied for Canadian citizenship, and I've been living here for 13 years. At FIC, I am in charge of Latin America. So I am the one that it's basically traveling all over Latin America, visiting Mexico, Brazil, Peru, Colombia, and so on, visiting schools, high schools, and trying to meet as many students as possible, students that want to do the same thing. They want to follow the same path that I did, come to Canada and start their bachelor's degree here and graduate from SFU as well.
Great. What a success story right there. And I am also a graduate of SFU, so there are 2 graduates right now from SFU. I earned my bachelor's degree from SFU. I studied economics and political science, so I know the university closely. So it's going to be a fun webinar. Let's start with your presentation. Let's learn more about FIC and how students can easily transition from FIC to SFU. And then I may interrupt you from time to time if questions arise. And in the end, we'll do quick Q&A session, and our audience, of course, can ask their questions either on the chat box on the right-hand side of our screens, or we can invite them live on stage, and they can ask their questions live as well. So stage is yours.
Just a second. Let me try to share the presentation again.
Okay.
Just 1 second. Okay, close. Okay.
Great.
Perfect. So let's start with a little bit about the university. And of course, you guys can see my picture on my PowerPoint presentation right now. I already introduced myself. My name is Rafael, and I work for FIC as area manager for Latin America. I also mentioned that I was a student. Originally, I was a student at FIC, and I graduated from SFU. Here you can also see a couple of pictures of Simon Fraser University Burnaby campus. That's the main campus. That's SFU's main campus, located on top of a mountain. It's a beautiful campus. I'm going to show you guys a couple more pictures as we advance in the presentation. But I think it's important to start by explaining why we have these two logos here. We have Simon Fraser University logo, and then we have FIC logo. I mentioned that I was a student first at Fraser International College. So Fraser International College is located at Simon Fraser University. When we talk about Fraser International College, we are basically talking about more personalized environment where international students can take their the first year of their bachelor's degree at SFU. So you're already going to be living on campus. If you want to live at SFU, you can live on campus. You can use all of SFU's facilities. You're going to have classes with SFU instructors, but the only difference is that during your first year, instead of joining a huge classroom with 300 students, you're gonna go through what we call a soft landing. So you're gonna start in a more personalized environment first, maximum 35 students per classroom, and that's how it's gonna be during your first year. And then after you're done with your first 30 credits, with your first year of your bachelor's degree, that's when you're gonna join Canadian students in the big classrooms after you go through your adaptation year or your soft landing year. Okay, so that's exactly what Fraser International College offers. You're gonna be joining a top-ranked university. We're gonna talk a little bit more about it, but you're gonna be joining a top-ranked university, and at the same time, you're gonna be able to take advantage of this personalized attention that you will get from Fraser International College during your first year. Now, I understand that many of you are joining us from different countries today. I understand that not many of you are actually in Vancouver right now. So it's very important to mention that Simon Fraser University and Fraser International College are both located in Vancouver. Here you can see the map. You can see that Vancouver is very close to Seattle in the United States. We are located in the west coast of Canada, and that means that we have one of the best weathers in the whole country. So Vancouver offers one of the best weathers in Canada. Our winters are not as cold as in other parts of Canada, and we have beautiful summers. We are just starting our summer, and I can tell you that today it's beautiful outside. It's sunny. The sun is gonna be out until 10 o'clock. So it's a place that you're gonna be able to enjoy a lot of outdoor activities as well. It's one of the most beautiful cities in Canada, one of the safest cities in Canada and in the world as well. Just so that you can see here that we have Vancouver on the map, and then we also have Toronto. Toronto is located on the east coast, and winters in Vancouver, we might end up getting temperatures of like -7 degrees Celsius. In Toronto, they might get temperatures of -30 degrees Celsius. So that gives you an idea of the kind of weather that we have in Vancouver in comparison to other cities in Canada. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. We just talked a little bit more about Vancouver, but I think it's important to mention that Vancouver is always ranked as one of the top 5 most livable cities in the world. And also Canada as a country is also always ranked as one of the top 5 most livable countries in the world. You can see a picture here of downtown Vancouver. You can see that we have the ocean, we have mountains, we have parks, and we also have a downtown area that is very urban, and there's a lot of buildings. So it's a city of approximately, or a little bit more than 2 million people. It's not a small city, but at the same time, it's not huge like the city where I'm from. I'm originally from São Paulo, where we have like 19 million people. So Vancouver offers the best of both worlds. You're gonna have nature. You're not gonna be bored because it's not a small city. You're gonna have a lot of work opportunities because it's a vibrant city with a very strong economy. And at the same time, you're gonna be able to enjoy, for example, if you like snowboarding, 30 minutes away from downtown Vancouver, you can go to Grouse Mountain and you can go snowboard, or you can go ski. Or if you like to go for a hike, you can go also to Grouse Mountain or to Cypress Mountain. And I think it's important to mention as well that it's one of the safest cities in the world. So you're not gonna have to worry about hopping on a bus if it's late at night, walking by yourself. These are all things that you're never gonna have to worry again. You're only gonna have to worry about your academic program and achieving the best grades possible. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about SFU, about Simon Fraser University. You can see here on this slide another picture of our main campus, Burnaby campus. The Burnaby campus is located on top of a mountain, and you can see that we have a huge green area that it's located on campus. So all of this area here where you see almost like a forest, this is a preservation area. So the university is located inside a preservation area. I don't need to tell you, you can see on the picture that the view from the campus is amazing. You're gonna be able to see the mountains, a little bit of this arm of water here. So really, it's a beautiful campus. It's a beautiful location. We also have another 5 locations, another 5 campuses. Some of them are located in downtown. We have 4 buildings in downtown. We have also 1 campus located in Surrey. Simon Fraser University is the #1 ranked comprehensive university in Canada. And we've been ranked #1 for 5 consecutive years. When we talk about world rankings, SFU is ranked top 1% in the world. So it's also one of the best universities in the world. So if you choose to join FIC and graduate from Simon Fraser University, you're gonna be graduating from one of the best universities in Canada and also one of the top ranked universities in the world, okay? What that means is that you're gonna be prepared and you're gonna be in an amazing position to join the workforce in Canada and to be very competitive when you start applying for different positions, for different jobs, okay? The university, SFU in total, the university has 35,000 students, okay? Out of these 35,000 students, approximately 15% are international students from more than 70 countries. So you're gonna meet people from all over the world, but majority of the students are from Canada. I talked a little bit about the rankings. I focus a lot on our Canadian ranking, which is #1 comprehensive university in Canada. I also talked about the fact that we are top 1% in the world as far as the QS World University Rankings. But I think it's also important to acknowledge that we are also considered one of the top universities worldwide when it comes to innovation, when it comes to how much money we have to invest on research from donations, from government funding. So it doesn't matter if you want to study business or if you want to study mechatronics engineering or maybe biomedical engineering. You're gonna be at a top-ranked university for several areas. In my case, for example, my major was international studies. So I have a Bachelor of Arts and Social Sciences, and my major was international studies. But we also have, for example, the Faculty of Applied Sciences here. Faculty of Applied Sciences is where we're gonna find mechatronics, systems engineering, sustainable energy engineering, also computer science, biomedical engineering. These are all options that you're going to find within Faculty of Applied Sciences. Also, if we go to Faculty of Business, BD School of Business, it's very important to mention and to make sure that you guys are aware of this. BD School of Business is considered top 100 business school in the world. So if you want to study business, BD School of Business is one of the best business schools in the world. You're going to be able to study finance or international business or marketing or human resource management, entrepreneurship and innovation. At SFU, we also have a Faculty of Communication, Arts and Technology, where we're gonna find options such as dance, film, also theater, art, performance and cinema studies, communication, design. There are so many options, guys. Really, once we are done with this webinar, if I didn't mention the program that you're looking for, you can always talk to Ilias and he will help you. He was also a student at SFU, so he's gonna be able to help you. And of course, I'm also gonna be able to help you with another personalized call if you guys need. And we can go through the program options and find the best option based on what you wanna study for your bachelor's degree, okay? Keep in mind that BD School of Business is top 100 in the world. When it comes to computer science, we are top 75 in the world. And also for communications, we are top 100 in the world, okay? So it's very important to keep that in mind.
And it's very competitive, and it's not easy to get in, but if you go through FIC, I guess you're going to talk about this in a short while. You have some advantages there, right?
Exactly. So here, I'm gonna try to explain to you guys exactly what's the connection between FIC and Simon Fraser University. So you can see here what we call UTP Stage 2. UTP Stage 2 is the program that most of our students will join when they apply for Fraser International College, for FIC. UTP Stage 2 is the equivalent to the first year of the bachelor's degree from Simon Fraser University. So let's say, for example, you want to study business, then you're gonna join UTP Stage 2 Business Administration, which is the first year of SFU's Business Administration bachelor's, okay? Let's say you wanna study international studies like I did. Then you're gonna join UTP Stage 2 Arts and Social Sciences, which is the first year of SFU's Bachelor of Arts and Social Sciences in a more personalized environment. Once you finish UTP Stage 2, you're gonna transfer to SFU classrooms with Canadian students. And in order to transfer from UTP Stage 2 to the second year of your bachelor's degree, all you're gonna need to achieve is the minimum GPA requirement from each faculty. So what it means is that if you join FIC, the GPA, the grade point average that you're gonna be required to achieve in order to transfer to second year, it's gonna be a preferential GPA. So you're gonna have an advantage because you're already studying at FIC, because you're already taking classes at SFU, and you already have a joint letter of offer from FIC and from SFU, okay? So FIC is directly linked to SFU. Another advantage that you're gonna have if you apply for FIC is that if you're joining the first year of the bachelor's degree at FIC, the GPA that we require from your high school results are gonna be lower than the GPA that you would need to have in order to join the first year with Canadian students. So we can accept students with a lower GPA at first because we are gonna give you guys that personalized attention during the first year. So SFU knows that we're gonna take good care of our students and that we're gonna make sure that before you join the classrooms with Canadian students, you're gonna be prepared to fight for the best grades with Canadian students, okay?
So Rafael, I have a few questions here. For UTP Stage 1 and 2, how do you determine where students end up? Do you look at their English levels or their just GPAs from their high schools?
Exactly. So Stage 1 and Stage 2, the only difference as far as admission requirements are the GPA requirements. So we look at the academic results from high school. Really, if you start at Stage 1, it doesn't mean necessarily that your English level is lower than if you start at Stage 2.
I see. So how long is the Stage 1 take?
Yeah. So if you need to start at Stage 1, it's gonna be 2 semesters or 2 terms, so 4 months each at Stage 1, and then 3 terms, 1 academic year at Stage 2. So instead of graduating in 4 years, the student would be graduating in 4 years and a half.
I see.
And if you start at Stage 2, then you're graduating in 4 years.
4 years. So basically at UTP Stage 1, and UTP stands for University Transfer Program, they basically upgrade their GPAs from, let's say, grade 12 math or maybe science courses.
Yeah. So once they join UTP Stage 2, they're no longer gonna need to upgrade their results from high school. They're already gonna be taking classes from SFU's first year. So they're already gonna take the first 30 credits from their bachelor's degree. So students are not gonna take high school level courses. Students are gonna take university level courses. They're already working on their first 30 credits.
I see. And the UTP Stage 2 is based on 30 credits, right? So they need to take minimum 30 credits to be able to transfer to SFU's second year.
Exactly, yeah.
And for that 30 credits, do they have to enroll? I assume they can either do it in 2 semesters or 3 semesters, right?
Stage 2, it's 3 terms. So you're gonna take 3 classes at your first term,
Okay.
4 classes at your second term, and then 3 classes at your third term. But once you finish stage 2 and you join the second year, then you can choose if you want to take 5 classes during fall and 5 classes during spring, and then you have summer off, or you can take 3, 4, 3, for example. Right? So starting second year, students are going to have the option of taking classes during their summer or not. They're going to be able to choose.
Okay.
Yeah. And also for stage 2 and for stage 1, we have start dates in January, May, and September. So we have 3 intakes per year. So depending on when the students are ready to start classes, they're going to be able to choose their start date.
So it's very flexible.
Very flexible. Another thing that it's important to mention, in order to apply, all we need are the academic transcripts from high school, and also we need a scanned copy of the student's passport. With those 2 documents, the student can already submit an application, and in 48 hours, we're gonna send a letter of offer. So 48 hours is extremely quick. Most of the universities and colleges in Canada, they are taking up to 8 weeks to send a letter of offer. And we send a letter of offer in 48 hours. So it's very straightforward. It's very flexible application process as well.
Okay. How about the English proficiency? I guess you're going to talk about this later on your presentation. Maybe let's not get in there yet. But I just had another question. What's the percentage, or do majority of your students transfer to the second year or the third year at SFU?
No, majority of the students will transfer to the second year. The Associate of Arts, it's basically an option for those students that were not able to meet the minimum GPA to transfer to the second year after they finish stage 2. So most of our students, and we encourage our students to transfer after stage 2.
I see.
And I mean, we are also a BC transfer guided institution, just like Langara and Douglas.
I was just going to ask that actually. So of course, you're located at SFU, and students studying at FIC, they have many advantages when they transfer to SFU, right? Because they have a guaranteed transfer once they maintain a minimum the minimum GPA requirements, and it's usually lower than the regular admission requirements at SFU. Like, let's say if I apply from another college to go to SFU, let's say I want to study economics, I want to do Bachelor of Arts, they'll ask for 2.8 GPA, let's say. But if you go through FIC, is it the same or is it lower? Like, let's say it's 2.5.
2.5.
2.5.
Yeah. So yes, we have preferential GPA. So yes, we do have a better GPA requirement or a lower GPA requirement for students that want to transfer from FIC to SFU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So as far as accommodation, and I'm gonna go back to the English requirement in a second, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about accommodation as well. SFU, of course, we have residents on campus. So if the students want to live on campus, if you guys want to live on campus, you're going to have this option. You're not, however, obligated to live on campus. It's not mandatory. So if you prefer to live off campus, you're also going to have an option to live off campus with a host family, or if you want to look for your own apartment, you can also do that. However, if you prefer to live on campus, you are welcome to apply for one of our buildings. I lived on campus for the first 2 terms, and then after that, I ended up renting an apartment with my best friend very close to the university. all of the rooms located on campus, all of the residence rooms, they are private rooms. However, there are no rooms with private bathrooms. So you're gonna be sharing the washrooms with other students, but you are gonna have your private room. Sorry.
Or there's another option, actually, another great option, because
GEC.
sometimes, yes, GEC, and obviously we are under the same group, CIBT Education Group with GEC, and we usually, we sometimes get FIC students who were late to apply for the residences. They, through their agencies, they connect with us, and we usually place them into GEC Burnaby or GEC Viva, GEC Pearson, or even GC Granville. So they have lots of options with our student accommodation unit as well. And GC Burnaby is only a 10-minute bus ride from SFU's Burnaby campus.
Perfect. And one other thing that I wanted to quickly mention is the fact that SFU has one of the best co-op programs in North America. So for those of you that are not familiar with co-op, we are talking about paid internships. SFU's co-op has been around for more than 40 years. So the university has been offering co-op internships for more than 40 years. And SFU is one of the few universities in North America that offers co-op for every faculty. So it doesn't matter if you're studying business or if you're studying theater, you're gonna have the option to take a co-op internship and work at one of the top companies for your industry. So SFU works with more than 2,000 companies worldwide, companies like Facebook, KPMG, Ernst Young, Microsoft, Sony, Electronic Arts, and these are just a few examples. So I had friends that were students with me at SFU, and they worked in Italy, they worked in Germany, they worked in France. I had other friends that worked for BlackBerry in Waterloo, some friends that worked for KPMG, for Ernst Young. So the co-op from SFU, it's highly recognized, and there's a lot of prestige that goes, it's very prestigious, that goes with the co-op program from SFU. For those of you that end up taking co-op, 90% of the SFU students that decide to take co-op, they receive a full-time job offer prior to graduating from their bachelor's degree. So it's almost like by doing this, you are securing a job for when you graduate from university. That's how good SFU's co-op is, okay? So I highly recommend that you guys take the co-op when you are at SFU. I don't know if Ilias, did you take a co-op?
I did not, because I was already working and I was running my own business when I was actually studying at SFU. But I've had friends, as you just mentioned, I've had a friend who worked at BlackBerry in Toronto from the business department. And it's co-op is a great option because I believe they can work up to 1 year.
Yeah.
And by doing that, they can offset their tuition cost as well, and they'll have a good network. And once they graduate, perhaps they'll be ready to work right away.
Yes, and the networking is also a great part of why co-op is such an amazing option, because you're gonna be meeting staff from all of these great companies. And once you graduate, you're already gonna have your network, your professional network. You're gonna have these contacts that are gonna help you they're gonna help you find good job offers, right? So it's very important to take advantage of these opportunities. Now,
and besides co-op, students have lots of opportunities at SFU for networking events, especially with the business faculty or economics. They can just join the student clubs, and they'll organize so many student events, networking events, and they'll be able to, meet with prospective employers.
That's it. Now, we talked about co-op, but it's also important to mention that from day one, our students are allowed to work 20 hours per week, part-time. So if you want to work from day one, you're going to be able to work 20 hours per week. And when you have vacations, you're going to be able to work full-time, 40 hours per week, okay? On top of that, you're also going to be able to join a co-op, paid internship, but you're not obligated to join the co-op, okay? Mm-hmm. Only if you study engineering. Engineering students, they must take the co-op. The other faculties, it's not mandatory, it's optional. And of course, we also need to talk about postgraduate work permit. For most of you guys that are joining the call today, I assume that you already did a little bit of research about Canada and what are the comparative advantages of Canada when we compare to other countries. But it's always important to highlight and to remind you guys of these advantages. Canada offers the complete package when it comes to cost benefit. Why? Because you're going to be able to work. You're going to be able to work from day one, 20 hours per week. You're going to be, and that can be off campus or on campus. You're not limited to on campus. Then you're going to
and if it's on campus, they can work full time even.
Yeah. Whenever you have vacation, you can work full time. You can work 20 hours per week doing your studies. You're going to be able to do the co-op as well, which is the paid internship. Now, once you graduate, you're going to automatically be eligible. You're going to have to apply, but you're going to be able to apply for a postgraduate work permit. The postgraduate work permit allows you to stay and work full time for another 3 years in Canada. Once you have used 1 year out of the 3 years that you are allowed to stay in Canada and work full time, you're then going to be able to apply for permanent residence, the equivalent to the green card in the US, okay? So eventually, you're going to be able to apply for the Canadian citizenship. So there's a clear path for those of you that would like to stay and start your professional career here in Canada. Now, we always talk about return of investment. And here in Canada, return of investment, it's one of the best ratios that you can find as far as return of investment. Because first of all, you're going to pay a much lower tuition than you would pay in other countries. Just to give you an example, SFU is ranked top 1% in the world. And we are talking about a tuition of 29,000 Canadian dollars per year on average, okay? If you want to study at a top 1% university in the US, for example, in America, you would be paying at least twice as much in tuition. So Canada allows you to join a top-ranked university for a lower cost, and it gives you a much, much better possibility of recovering your investment faster. Because SFU students, once they finish their bachelor's degree, on average, they start with a annual salary of around 55,000 Canadian dollars per year. So that gives you an idea of how much value an SFU diploma is carrying. Okay, so that's very important to keep in mind. Now let's go back to English language requirements. Ilyas, is there anything else you want to add about SFU before we talk about the English language requirement?
No, we can go ahead with the English requirements.
Perfect. So for you guys that are joining Sprott Language College, you will be able to take a pathway program, and once Ilias or one of the advisors tells you that you are at the level where you need to be, you will then take one of these exams here. You can take the IELTS academic, you can take a TOEFL IBT, or you can also take Duolingo English test. And another great option, which is actually it's free of cost. There's no admin fee. So if you're here in Vancouver, you can take the PVT. So let's say that you're already attending classes at Sprott Shaw Language College, and you want to take the PVT exam. You can come to our campus here in Vancouver as well and take the PVT exam, and it's free of cost, okay? And you can see here that we have different points of entry as far as English level. Ideally, you should have the equivalent to a Duolingo English test of 115, okay? If you have 100, we can still accept you, but you would start as direct entry. If you have 95, you would start as integrated entry. And if you have 85, you would start as cornerstone entry. What does that mean? It means that the first year tuition is gonna be a little bit more expensive because you're gonna need a little bit more support from us because you have a slightly lower English level, okay? So ideally, you should have a Duolingo English test of 115 or a TOEFL IBT of 82.
So although we have a partnership with FIC, we don't have a direct articulation agreement. So in this case, what we'll do is if you need to upgrade your English, you come to SSLC first. We can actually give you few options. You know, I believe you should definitely go and study in our pathway program because it will help our students to prepare them for FIC and SFU because they'll need those skills. And if they're already here, they can choose the free option. They can take your in-house entrance exam at your campus, or we also have IELTS test preparation, full-time IELTS test preparation. Once they complete their pathway program, you know, they can either take IELTS or TOEFL or Duolingo, or they can even go directly through our IELTS test preparation and obtain their IELTS scores. So we have lots of options, even though we don't have a direct articulation, because once students actually complete our pathway program, which is EP, English for Post-Secondary Education, once our students are at that level and once they complete the full 12 weeks, they'll be easily able to pass your in-house exam, which is a free option. And is that a multiple choice exam, or do they have to write essays? Is there a speaking involved?
Yes, so it's just like an IELTS or a TOEFL.
Okay.
The PVT exam, it's actually it stands for Pearson Versant. So it's an exam from Pearson.
Pearson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have the option for them to do the test overseas, or if they're not able to come to the campus, how would it work?
So if the student is still in their home country, the best option would be the Duolingo English test as far as cost, because the Duolingo English test is $49 American. So it would be the best option. But if the student is already here in Vancouver, then we can definitely arrange the PVT, and we can talk about the PVT overseas on a case-by-case basis. So we can always discuss that option as well, the PVT exam for those students that are still in their home country. Now, it's very important to keep in mind that you don't need to have the English test result in order to submit an application.
Mhm.
You will submit the application, receive the letter of offer, and you only need to show us the English test result before you start your classes. So the English exam, it's not gonna delay your process. You can take care of the necessary steps, and the English test could be the last thing that you take care of.
So technically, they can produce their English scores one day before they start?
Yeah, ideally, the latest would be around 3 weeks before the start
3
date.
weeks before.
Yeah, but we can still accept 1 day or 2 days. It's
Okay.
just that if you come last minute,
Mhm.
then when you're trying to enroll and select your classes, you
Mhm.
might end up not being able to enroll for the classes that you wanted because they might be full already.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of flexibility, but I would suggest that
As early as possible.
we try to keep it within 3 weeks.
How about the Pearson test? Are students able to take this test multiple times?
Yes. Now, my suggestion would be to take it once, and then if you didn't achieve the result that you were expecting, you need to wait for at least 1 month before you can take it again. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Now, let's say, for example, that the student is in Turkey, and when he submits the application to Sprott Language College, he also submits an application for FIC, and he already took Duolingo English test, and he got 85. We can always take that score, and then once the student comes to Canada and he goes through EPE, after, let's say, 3 months or 4 months of EPE, he can then take the test again and try to improve his grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Now, I just wanted to show one last thing. For the students that achieve Duolingo 115 or TOEFL IBT 82, these would be the cost, the tuition cost for first year. If you achieve Duolingo 110 100 and or an IELTS 6.0, then it would be a total of 32,755 for the first year. And then we also have these two options here for lower level.
For the direct entry, do you require IELTS 7.0?
No, direct entry, IELTS 6.0. ALC exempt entry, IELTS 7.0.
What's the ALC exempt?
ALC exempt, it means that they don't need to take this course here.
Oh, academic literacy course.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So that's the only difference between direct and ALC exempt is this course here. And actually, the IELTS required for ALC exempt has been updated. So now it's 6.5. If you go to the website, you're already going to find the updated information.
Perfect.
Yeah. And other than that, I mean, I think it's only important to remind you guys that we are talking about one of Canada's most important universities here. So if you're looking at several options, you should always keep in mind that there might be a difference as far as tuition cost, but sometimes we look at lower tuition and we think that we are saving money, but sometimes the way we need to look at it is what am I getting in exchange for this tuition that I'm paying? I might be paying 29,000 at SFU, and I could be paying 15,000 at another university. But how is that going to reflect in my professional career? Does that mean that if I'm going to that other university that is cheaper, I'm going to start with a lower salary once I go out there and I start looking for my first job? Does it mean that my diploma is not going to have the same weight that a diploma from SFU would have? So it's always important to not look only at the tuition cost, but also think about what you are getting from that investment, okay? For those of us that have been living here for a long time, like Ilias and I, but we are originally from another country, we already learned this and we already understand how this works. But if you're still in your home country, sometimes it's difficult to understand that in Canada, just like in other countries, we have different levels of universities as far as how recognized they are. So it's very important for you to select the best option for your budget and the best option for your professional career. I don't know if you agree, Ilias.
Definitely. I mean, if you want to graduate from one of the most prestigious universities, I mean, definitely SFU is one of them, and that's why the tuition is higher in both hands, both at FIC and SFU.
Just to give you guys an idea, our main rival in Vancouver, it's UBC, University of British Columbia. So SFU and UBC and University of Victoria, they are the three most important universities in British Columbia. UBC right now is charging around 46,000 Canadian dollars per year if you are an international student, and SFU is charging around 29,000. So that gives you a good idea, a good perspective of our price point.
So does your tuition fee with SFU, is it like exactly same, or?
It's very similar. The difference is that we charge the same tuition for the first year, regardless of which faculty you are studying.
Okay.
Once you transfer to SFU for the second year, the tuition will change a little bit depending on which faculty you're joining. So that's where the difference will be. But when we send the letter of offer, we are already gonna give the students the price for the first year at FIC, and also we're gonna give them the price range for the second, third, and fourth year. So when you get the letter of offer, you're gonna be able to see how much more or less you're gonna be paying for second, third, and fourth year. But it's very similar to what SFU charges. And I should also mention that we don't charge an application fee. So you can apply for FIC without paying an application fee.
Nice. Are there any other advantages for those students who apply through SSLC? Like,
I guess,
or do you currently have any other promotions or any other, let's say, scholarships?
Yeah, as far as scholarships, we do have scholarships available. However, we don't have any entrance scholarship. Okay. So there's no option for scholarship that I can offer to students before they start their classes at FIC. Once they have started their classes and finished their first term, depending on their grades, they're gonna be able to achieve, or they're gonna be able to get a scholarship. The scholarships that we offer during the first year, the value is a little bit lower. It's more a way of recognizing academic achievement or rewarding academic achievement. Once you finish first year and you transfer to second year at SFU, you will be able to apply to all of the different scholarships that SFU has to offer. And in that case, we are talking about scholarships that are going to represent a much bigger, a much higher amount as far as what percentage of your tuition it will cover, right? So yes, there are a lot of scholarships, but there are no entrance scholarships.
So I have another question here. Let's say students are admitted into FIC and they started their first semester from, let's say, UTP stage 2. I assume you help them apply to SFU? You know, you help with the admission procedures. And when do they start applying to SFU? Like, is it also flexible, or is there like certain deadlines, or is it more flexible for FIC students?
That's a great question. First of all, it's not a separate application.
Okay.
When you're going from FIC to SFU, you're transferring internally. It's almost like if you were transferring from the Faculty of Arts to the Faculty of Science. Wow. So it's an internal transfer from one department to the other. Of course, our advisors are going to help the student with the whole process of transferring from FIC to the second year at SFU. And the question that you asked, it's a great question as far as the flexibility for this transfer. Our students, it doesn't matter when they finish UTP stage 2, they're going to be able to transfer to SFU right away. So let's say you started your classes in January at FIC. It doesn't matter when you finish your first year at FIC. You're going to be able to start your second year right away. You're not gonna need to wait until September next year. You're going to be able to start right away.
From any term, including summer. Yeah. But let's say students are on the edge for their GPAs and they need to wait for their final exam scores. Yeah. And like, how does it work in this scenario?
Yeah, no, I mean, we have 14 years of experience dealing with this type of situation. Of course, it's stressful, it's last minute, but our team of advisors, they have a lot of experience when it comes to helping students. Even if they get the results, they are basically depending on their results in order to figure out if they're going to be able to transfer or not. So we are prepared to help those students that are waiting for their results in order to transfer to SFU. It shouldn't be an issue. I was one of those students, so I can tell you that it wasn't an issue for me.
And how about, sometimes things can go wrong, it's sometimes stressful to study at a post-secondary education here in Canada, and students, let's say they fail their courses. Are they able to, how many times they're able to repeat a course at FIC? Because I know that at SFU, you can only repeat it twice.
Yeah.
So because it's very serious there and you have to take things seriously. But sometimes what you can do is, in order for you to improve your GPA or increase your GPA, you can repeat a course and they'll take the best score, or sometimes they take the average. It depends on the course or on the university. How does it work at FIC?
Yeah, so these are questions that I think that an academic advisor would be better prepared to answer, because they are the ones dealing with the day-to-day academic side of things. However, I can tell you that yes, students are allowed to repeat classes at least once. I think that twice is still okay. However, I would always suggest that we go with the best case scenario and we try to focus on not having to repeat classes. Now, let's say, for example, that the student was not able to achieve the GPA and he was not able to transfer after stage 2. Student will be able to stay and take more classes at FIC in order to try to improve his GPA and then try to transfer again. So our advisors will help the student with that. And let's say, worst case scenario, it is clear that the student is not going to be able to make it. Our credits are BC transfer guided credits. So it means that in the worst scenario possible, if you're not able to transfer to Simon Fraser University, you're still going to be able to try to take your credits to an institution that asks for a lower GPA. However, I should warn you, all, that a 2.5 GPA is not a high GPA. So if you're not able to achieve a 2.5 GPA, I don't know if there are many options as far as universities that would accept you, because 2.5 is not that high.
And do you have statistics on the success rates of your students? Like, what's the percentage of your students transferring to SFU?
Yeah, so more than 95% of our students, they transfer to second year at SFU. Really, we only exist, the only reason FIC is here is to welcome students that are planning to graduate from their SFU bachelor's degree. So it's only natural that majority of our students are transferring to second year at SFU. It's only a small portion or small percentage of our students that are not transferring to SFU and might be ending up at other institutions.
Okay, great to know.
Every student that comes to FIC should only come to FIC because he's thinking about graduating from SFU. If you're thinking about trying to transfer to UBC, for example, you shouldn't join FIC.
Yeah.
Great.
They can go to UBC Vantage College.
Yeah, that's a better option for those that want to go to UBC.
Okay, are you done with your presentation?
Yes, so I think we covered everything. Do you think, Ilias, do you have any other questions, or is there anything else that you would like us to cover?
I think I've asked all my questions. Maybe we can quickly touch based on the nationality mix at FIC.
Yeah.
I know that 100% is international students are based on international students, right?
Yes.
But do you have any nationality mix?
Yeah. So let me go back to this slide here.
Okay.
So I mentioned that in total, SFU has 35,000 students. When we talk about FIC, Fraser International College, we are located on campus around here at SFU. And at FIC, we have around 3,000 students. Out of these 3,000 students, the top two nationalities are China and India. But after that, it becomes very diverse. We have more than 60 nationalities on campus. We have students from Turkey, from Brazil, from Colombia, from Peru, from Vietnam, from Indonesia, from Korea, Ukraine, Russia, Kazakhstan. So really, there are plenty of nationalities on campus. We just got confirmation from our first student ever from Slovakia. So that's a new nationality for us.
Nice. And this was the thing, my international friends, when I was studying at SFU, I studied as a citizen at SFU, so I was lucky, but most of my friends transferred from FIC, and they were saying that it's better to start with FIC because you get to have so many friends, you know, from all around the world. You don't feel maybe segregated in your first year, because when you start in a big university, it's so easy to get lost, you know, in a 300 with 300 students in one classroom. You know, it's hard to find your prof. You know, you have to go through so many things. But when you start in a more friendly environment, you know, with only students, like there are only 35 students in a classroom, you know, you get to have so many friends. And when you transition to SFU, you continue that friendship, and you know, it's you basically have a community there.
That's it. And I think one last thing that we should mention is that for those of you that are planning to start your bachelor's degree or to start UTP stage 2 at FIC in September, we are still accepting applications for September 2020. However, the classes are going to be online. So because of the COVID-19 situation, the COVID-19 crisis right now, we have decided that for September 2020, for fall 2020, the classes are going to be delivered online. And of course, COVID-19 crisis is something that we are getting updates on a daily basis. And depending on how things improve, we will keep the students updated. But the plan is to go back to face-to-face classes in January 2021. Okay, so you'll be able to start your classes in September 2020 online for the first term, and you're gonna be saving on accommodation, on meal plan, on flight tickets, on all of these things that you would have to cover if you had to come to Canada and start classes on campus.
All right, Rafael, thank you so much for joining us today. That was a great presentation. And thanks everyone for joining us tonight. If you have any questions, we can take them now. I basically asked all my questions here on my end. And I'll have a quick announcement. We are actually reopening our campuses in Victoria on July 6th. So as of July 6th, our students will be back in our campuses. Our staff will be back in our campuses, so that's great news for us. Please stay tuned for our updates. And I think, Rafael, can you take down your, stop sharing your screen, and Jem will share our website. You can just go to our website and, oops, I think I lost you.
Sorry.
Oh, you're here. You're here. You can connect with us. We speak almost all the languages, as I say every week. We just need to share the screen on the stage. We have courses starting at $80 per week. You know, it's very easy to apply to our school. All you have to do is go onto our website and press apply now. You can even connect us and email us with your own language. We speak almost all the languages here at SSLC. We have advisors and marketers that speak your language. So, and our next intake for our Pathway program, our EP program, is actually this coming Monday, June 26th, and the next one would be 4 weeks after that. So thanks everyone. And you can see our Pathway partners here, and FIC or Navitas will be added shortly, as we are about to sign the agreement, which is another great news for us. Thank you everyone for attending our webinar again, and I'll be live again next week. Next week, Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Vancouver time again, with partners from Ontario, with St. Lawrence College and Algonquin College, and our webinars will continue. Our Pathway webinar series will continue for the upcoming in the upcoming weeks as well, and we will be starting our own webinars for our own programs, our SSLC programs, our co-op programs at VICCC. So please stay tuned and follow us on our social media accounts, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Wherever you can reach us at. Again, thank you, Rafael, for sparing your time for us tonight. We really appreciate it, and we will be doing another webinar with you, with you and Fernanda, right? Mm-hmm. Our in-country representative in Mexico. We'll do it in Spanish, and perhaps we can do one in Portuguese too with Antonio.
We can do that as well.
Our in-country representative in Brazil, Antonio. So for our Portuguese and Spanish speaking prospective students and our partners. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you next week again. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.